Partner passing on the run is the next logical step after stationary partner passing. It allows players to get a sense for the timing of the passes as they might happen in a game, except for in a more structured and predictable manner as they jog and later sprint up the floor in unison. It's important that coaches first give a demo on lead passing before getting into this drill, which means passing to where a player is going, not where they currently are. Organize this drill with 2 parallel lines at the top of one of the creases, with players starting counterintuitively on their wrong floor sides, meaning their sticks are on the outside closest to the boards, which allows for an easier pass and catch with the player's stick leading in front of them. After a couple of reps through the drill with each of the following variations, later have them switch to their proper floor side, which makes for a tougher pass that forces players to open their hips and pass the ball to their partner's back shoulder as opposed to in front of them. One line of players can start with balls, switching halfway, or the drill can start with a pass from the goalie, depending on the player's skill level. In variation number 1, players run up the floor in twos, at a starting distance of approximately 3 to 5 meters apart, depending on age. Progressively increase the starting distance of the players, having them at first running the full length of the floor and stopping at the other end, and in later reps, taking shots from their proper floor side, crisscrossing where required. The most basic form of this drill is to stagger the passer and receiver, which means just the receiver runs forward with their head on a swivel, while the passer uses basic footwork, relatively stationary, to deliver the pass, which is variation number 1A. The passer then runs forward and becomes the receiver, while the original receiver becomes the passer, waiting for their teammate to get about 5 to 7 meters ahead of them before delivering the pass. Advance to players running alongside each other, starting slow at around 50% of maximum speed, with players again starting on their wrong floor side, advancing to full speed during the latter reps through the drill, which is variation number 1B. Next, have players do the speed build-up with players on their proper side, variation 1C. No side shuffling is allowed for this drill, unless specifically requested by the coach. Players should always be running straight forward. For timing purposes, coaches should send the next pairing when the players ahead are at the nearest restraining line. More advanced variations of this drill include throwing cross-body passes on purpose, which is variation number 1D, flip passes on the run for the entire length of the floor, which is variation 1E, or a mix of all of the above, variation 1F. In variation number 2, instead of stopping in the far end or taking a shot on the goalie, which is optional in this case, players curl in the corners, the same corner or the far side corner, and continue up the side boards, this time making lob passes back and forth, coming back to where they started from. Once back to the original end they started in, players can curl back up the middle and continue passing for a few minutes, depending on the number of players. Otherwise, line up again. Coaches should restart the drill in the opposite direction halfway through, which allows players to be able to practice both on their proper and wrong floor sides, and also gives goalies a different look. Variation number 3 is for advanced players, and there are now 2 balls per pairing, which is not shown here. Players throw their pass at the same time and then have to utilize their reaction time to catch the ball almost immediately after they throw it. Coaches should be sure to have plenty of balls on hand to substitute for an errant pass or a ball that collides in the air, which is a good thing. Variation 4 is the consecutive catches game, which is the same as all of the previous variations, except players are told to keep track of how many times in a row they catch the ball without a drop. If a ball is dropped, players must start their count over from 0. Ultimately, if players are going to be successful come game time, they will need to get comfortable passing with their feet moving, which is why coaches should encourage players to move their feet and not pass from a standstill in any passing drill. This drill in particular mimics the type of pass that players might be making in the open floor in a hypothetical 2-on-1 scenario, which makes it a great drill leading up to the progressive development of 2-on-1s in transition, which is a vital skill to possess for any house league or club league player.